Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 4.
Today in your top 4 at 4, the latest COVID-19 numbers released by the state of North Dakota is making top headlines today. In addition to the state reporting 24 new deaths from October 4th, Cass County is the top county when it comes to new positive tests at 134. We have a breakdown of the latest stats on valleynewslive.com. Also, most information on the latest numbers for North Dakota and Minnesota are scrolling right now on the bottom of your screen. And Ruby Tuesdays is the latest restaurant to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy because of the COVID-19 pandemic. We'll tell you what that means for the area locations in just a couple of minutes. An 18-year-old Marlie Ferguson of Grand Forks is dead after police say she crashed her car into a tree in the 600 block of 1st Avenue South last night. The police report says Ferguson lost control of her car on a curve before the crash. They're also trying to figure out if speed was a factor. And you'll be able to watch the vice presidential debate tonight on KVLY. We'll have a bit of what you can expect coming up in this newscast. That's a quick look at today's top 4 at 4. Now let's check in with our first alert weather with meteorologist Nathan Hopper. Hey, Nathan.
Hey, Kelly, could be a good night to grab the old TV and watch that debate outdoors tonight, because it's going to be fairly comfortable for us. The wind will calm down as well, which is also the good news. Still windy, though. Our Home of Economy sky cam showing those flags. A bit of motion to those flags this afternoon, but notice only a few clouds there in the sky in the Grand Forks area. Thanks, of course, to our friends at Home of Economy for that beautiful shot. Here's the peak wind gusts from today. 35 miles per hour was that gust in Grand Forks, 33 miles per hour that gust in Fargo. Then a lot of the Devil's Lake Basin in that 30 to 35 mile per hour gust range today. Not as windy in Minnesota, but still. Winds gusting 25 to 30 miles per hour makes it tough on the golf course, whatever way you shake it this afternoon. Here's current winds. Northwest sustained around 15 to 20 miles per hour, with those windiest conditions, of course, in that Devil's Lake Basin down through the Sisseton Hills as well. Perhaps seeing a few stronger gusts there in the Thief River Falls area at this hour. Satellite radar shows mostly clear sky for pretty much everybody outside of a few clouds in the James River Valley and up into northern Minnesota. But that's about it, Kelly. We've got some quiet weather on the way for the next couple days, but we've got a temperature roller coaster to talk about, and we'll break it down coming up.
All right, thanks so much, Nathan. And another restaurant chain has fallen victim to the COVID-19 pandemic. Ruby Tuesdays is filing for bankruptcy, but they're trying to stay open as it goes through the bankruptcy process. Most of the restaurants have reopened during the pandemic with increased distancing and more cleaning measures. The first Ruby Tuesdays opened in Tennessee in 1972 and runs more than 600 restaurants. And officials in Grand Forks say a house fire is now being ruled accidental. Officials say it happened Monday afternoon at 4710 Golden Gate Drive. Officials say the fire was caused by improper disposal of a cigarette. A smoldering cigarette ignited nearby siding and deck boards. The fire then went to the insulation on the underside of the mobile home and was intensified by strong winds. And Fargo police say in September they saw an increase in burglary to garages and break-ins to vehicles. Police say in a lot of these reports, the person left their garage door open and vehicles unlocked. Police suggest you wait to watch your garage door close completely and to pull on your door handle to make sure your vehicle is locked. We'll have much more on this story tonight on Valley News Live. And former Minneapolis police officer Derrick Shelvin, awaiting trial for murder and the death of George Floyd, has been released from jail. Shelvin was released this morning from the Minnesota Correctional Facility in Oak Park Heights, where he was then transferred to the Hennepin County Jail, where he posted bail. A sheriff's office document, which was filed in district court, shows Shelvin was released on a non-cash conditional bail, which was set at $1 million. The 44-year-old now faces 12 years in prison if convicted. And in just hours, for the only time in this campaign, the candidates for the vice president will face off in a debate. The event framed and affected by the COVID-19 outbreak at the White House. Jay Gray is outside the debate hall on the University of Utah campus with a closer look.
The stage is set, including these plexiglass shields, which had been an early point of contention between the campaigns. Mike Pence and Kamala Harris will be seated just over 12 feet apart instead of the 7 as initially planned. Another coronavirus protection put in place as the candidates sit down face to face for the first and only time during the campaign. Analysts say for Vice President Pence, the goal is
present the Republican agenda without Donald Trump's personality. So he's going to prosecute that case, try and present the Democrats as being too far left for the middle of the country.
While also pointing out the administration's work over the last 4 years, something Harris, a former prosecutor, is expected to focus on as well.
I'm looking for, rather than Senator Harris fact-checking him every 30 seconds, but holding his feet to the fire for what he is responsible for and what his boss is responsible for.
Here's the format for the evening. There will be no opening or closing statements. Topics will be separated into 9 10-minute discussions, with Vice President Pence getting the first question. A big question for those tuning in
Everybody in your administration
is, will this showdown dissolve into the shout fest of the first presidential debate?
Hopefully, I'm sure it'll be more civil.
Civil and safe. It's what most are hoping to see here tonight. Jay Gray, NBC News, Salt Lake City.
To set the scene inside, 200 to 250 people will be spaced out in the audience. The hall normally seats 1,900, and everyone has to be COVID tested and wear a mask. Anyone who refuses will be escorted out of the building. And the White House physician has a health update for President Trump. Quoting, "I feel great." Dr. Sean Conley released the president's latest physical exam today, saying he remains stable. He says he's been fever-free for more than 4 days and symptom-free for over 24 hours. Since Trump's first time in the hospital for COVID-19, he hasn't needed any additional oxygen. Dr. Conley also made note that the president's lab work, which was taken on Monday, is showing detectable levels of antibodies of the virus. President Trump continues to be monitored by medical staff, and updates will be given. Governor Tim Walz announced today he will be convening a special session of the Minnesota legislature on Monday. He intends to again extend the COVID-19 peacetime emergency. And according to Walz, the 30-day extension into November is needed to ensure the state can continue to react quickly and effectively to the pandemic.
The United States has not handled this correctly. And here we sat. The most infected nation, the most deaths, and the slowest to recover from it. There are things that you can do. The virus is going to do what it's going to do, but our behaviors can impact that.
According to the Minnesota Department of Health, more than 2,000 people have died in Minnesota from COVID-19. Again, you can see the latest numbers that were released today on the bottom of your screen. And the wife of wounded Waseca police officer Eric Mattson says she's been sitting in on therapy sessions, preparing to be his major caregiver as he makes his way back home. Mattson is currently at a rehab facility in Omaha, Nebraska, relearning how to walk and perform daily routines after being shot in the head during a suspicious person call in January. Eric will be continuing his therapy in Minnesota. And in today's consumer news, Prime Day is less than 1 week away, and Amazon is getting better after months of conserving cash. Americans may be ready to shop again if the price is right. The online retail giant is kicking off its annual 2-day shopping event in the wee hours of Tuesday, October 13th. Already, the Toshiba 32-inch Smart HD Fire TV is marked down to more than 30%. to under $120. Some furniture, appliances, and tools are already 20% off. Other retailers are also starting holiday deals as early as October and extending them through the holiday season. And Netflix is facing criminal charges in the ongoing backlash over the film Cuties. A grand jury in Tyler County, Texas, indicted the streaming service back on September 23rd for promoting lewd visual material. Cuties is a French film centered on an 11-year-old girl living in Paris who wants to join a local free-spirited dance crew. The movie on Netflix was widely criticized, with some equating the film with child exploitation or child pornography. In a statement to NBC News, Netflix says the film is a social commentary against the sexualization of young children, adding, "This charge is without merit and we stand by the film." And school looks a lot different this year. Coming up on Valley News Live at 4, we'll show you what one couple is doing to help.
And here's how things look stepping out this evening. Clear skies, temperatures cooling into those 50s with winds calming down quite a bit by that sunset hour in Fargo. In Grand Forks, expecting some upper 40s then by the 10 p.m. hour. Again, looking at clear skies, but that's setting the stage for a cool night ahead. We'll have your full forecast next.